Hey guys, welcome back to another lecture. Today we'll be talking about shares and dividends, a very interesting chapter in my opinion, one of the important chapters in terms of helping you in business, helping you in life. So it's a good chapter to pay attention to. Before we start off, just want to remind you guys that if you're in the mood to like slay your ICSE goals, I hope you like hit like, subscribe, and share it with your friends and classmates who think that who want help in maths or want to get better in maths with putting in some effort and saving a lot of time. All right, so let's get started with today's class. As you can see, I've made like a pretty diagram up front, okay, with 4-line diagram. You on the left hand side over here, let me just point it out to you guys. Yeah, on the left hand side over here where I made the dot, we have three people. They're discussing. The first guy says let's start a company, and then the second guy is like, of course, yeah, but we need cash. And the third guy gets an idea like, if we are good enough a company, we can go public and we can sell shares to the general public. Now let's assume that for this company to really take off, they need about 100 crore. Now 100 crore is quite a big sum, so they believe that they can raise it from the people of the country, people of India, like you and me. So what they do is that they break this big 100 crore chunk into smaller chunks of rupees 10, and then there will be so many chunks of rupees 10 that they list it and they sell it to the people of India. These are the people or the general public. They sell it to them, and once people buy it, they officially become shareholders of whatever company these three blue men started. And once you become a shareholder, you are entitled to receive a portion of the profits that the company makes in accordance to how many shares you own. Okay, so because you are taking that risk of investing in the company, so they will give you a portion of their profits for the year, and that's called dividend. All right, now let's look at some terms that you will be dealing with when it comes to sum solving. Firstly, we talk about nominal value or face value of the share. Remember, face value of the share stays constant with time. It's usually numbers like rupees 5, rupees 10. Okay, you will look at numbers like this immediately. You will come to know it's FV or NV. Next, we talk about marked value. Marked value is this share value what you see on, if you open news channels or apps like Money Control, or on Google, if you type, give me the share price of Reliance, or give me the share price of Adani Power, whatever. You check it out and they'll show you some price, whatever, 216 point whatever, and they'll show you a graph, it's gone up and down within these many days or months. So that's actually the marked value. Okay, this marked value varies with time. So remember the difference between face and marked value. Face value remains the same with time, and marked value varies with time. Next, there are other terms. There are three terms which you need to know: discount, par, and premium. So when the nominal value or face value, this NV is also called FV. When FV is equal to MV, the shares are said to be at par. Means that the MV and FV are the same price. Next, if the marked value is more than the FV, it's said that the shares are selling at some premium, and the MV is equal to FV plus premium. Similarly, if marked value is less than FV or face value, it's said that the shares are selling at a discount. Next, this is a common sense thing that to calculate how many shares anybody owns, you just put their investment upon the marked value of the share when they bought the share. So let's say today the price of the share was rupees 100, and price of the share was rupees 1000, and I invested 20,000 rupees. So how many shares will I get? Simple, 20,000 upon 1000, and that's 20 shares. Very common sense type of thing. And lastly, we come to annual income or dividend. As I told you, if you are a shareholder, you are entitled to the portion of the profits the company makes in proportion to how many shares you own. So that annual income is calculated by putting the rate of dividend upon 100 into number of shares. This n is number of shares into face value. And lastly, there's this one. Lastly, we talk about two important formulae. Firstly is the yield rate or profit percent. Profit is nothing but income upon investment into 100. And lastly, we call this a master formula because you can calculate any one missing value if you're given the other three. So your master formula says that the profit percent or yield rate into marked value is equal to dividend percent into FV. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this lecture. These are some basic formulae you will be using time and again when we are solving the sums of shares and dividends. So I hope you guys revise this formula before you move on to the next lecture. Thanks again for watching. I tried to keep this as short as possible. So hit like, share and subscribe if you felt this was helpful for you. Okay, bye guys.